Have you ever noticed that a grape only becomes wine after going through a process of transformation? In the same way, God works in us, not always through speed, not always through ease, but through processes that reveal who we truly are. And that is exactly what the spirituality of bonsai teaches us. The bonsai is not just a botanical art. It is embodied spirituality, a silent philosophy, a living prayer, a daily reminder that life is not a frantic race, but a work in progress. Sitting in front of a bonsai is, for many, an act of contemplation, but for others, it's a mirror. Because in that miniature tree, there is a reflection of the soul, the deep root, the scarred trunk, the guided branches, the patient canopy, the beauty of time, the mark of intervention, the sign of hope. The bonsai gardener is more than a technician. He is a craftsman, a caregiver, a partner of nature. He doesn't rush processes, doesn't force beauty, doesn't impose results. He observes, he senses, he disciplines with gentleness, he prunes with intention, and he waits for the right time for everything. Because he knows the bonsai is not being shaped merely to please the eyes, but to reflect an idea of eternity. Caring for a bonsai is an act of faith. You never know for sure how it will respond. Some branches take a long time to bloom. Some leaves fall despite all the care. There are periods of apparent stagnation that hide an underground revolution. And so it is with our spiritual life. Sometimes it feels like nothing is changing. But in secret, God is aligning everything, strengthening what's invisible, correcting what you can't see. The spirituality of the bonsai lies in patience, in honoring the cycles, in understanding that beauty is a process, that haste ruins what consistency perfects. It's in knowing that a life is not shaped with force, but with presence. That correction doesn't come through anger, but through intention. That guidance is not rooted in fear, but in love. There is something deeply spiritual in the simple act of watering, in the gesture of cleaning a leaf, of trimming a branch that's growing out of direction. The bonsai teaches us that spirituality is not just about praying or going to church, but also about observing, caring, waiting, touching with reverence, recognizing God's presence in the details, in the small, in the seemingly mundane. In the inner world, God is the gardener. He shapes us over time, with gentle intervention, with an apparent slowness that is, in fact, great care. He knows what needs to grow and what needs to stop. He's in no hurry, because love is never in a hurry. And sometimes, what seems like wasted time is exactly when the roots are being strengthened. We must learn to accept God's rhythm. There is a spirituality in waiting, a grace in not being in control. The bonsai teaches us that time is not the enemy. It is an ally. Because what comes too fast lacks depth, and what is deep endures, even when the leaves fall. The spirituality of the bonsai is also the spirituality of detail, of the small, of the hidden, of the silent, of what takes time but lasts, of a life that doesn't need to be loud to be relevant, that doesn't need to be big to be meaningful, that doesn't need to be in the spotlight to be alive. In a world obsessed with speed, with immediate results, with accelerated goals, the bonsai teaches us the spirituality of slowness. And slowness here is not delay, it is wisdom. Slowness is the ability to be present in every stage, to live with intention, to notice small advances, to celebrate what is invisible. The bonsai is also shaped by wires, by temporary restraints. Wires that guide the branches, that draw the path, that correct without breaking. And it's the same with God. There are seasons when we feel limited, when we can't go where we'd like, when something holds us back. Sometimes it's Him redirecting us, preventing us from growing in the wrong direction, preserving us for what truly matters. The spirituality of the bonsai teaches that beauty without roots is empty aesthetics, that growth without direction is chaos, that freedom without limits is self-sabotage, and that pruning is not punishment, but preparation. God does not prune to punish. He prunes to align. He cuts to strengthen. He removes to refine. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, He takes away. And every branch that bears fruit, He prunes, that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. In the spirituality of the bonsai, even what's being cut is being cared for. And that changes everything. Because when you understand that even loss can be part of divine care, you stop resisting and start cooperating. And that cooperation is the turning point. The bonsai does not grow like an ordinary tree. It grows slowly, but it grows with meaning. It grows with history. It grows with marks. It grows with memory. It is small, but deep. Discreet, but intense. Limited in size, but unlimited in significance. Our spirituality should be the same. Small in the eyes of the world, but vast in eternal impact. The spirituality of the bonsai also teaches us about dependence. A bonsai left alone, even for a short time, gets sick. It depends on constant care, on loving intervention, on an attentive gaze. So is our relationship with God, dependent, daily, essential. When we try to live on our own, we dry up. But when we are under the gardener's care, we flourish. The spirituality of the bonsai is an invitation to consistency, to humility, to the beauty of surrender, to the power of listening, to silence as the soil of transformation. It is a spirituality that doesn't impose, it blossoms, that doesn't shout, but reveals, that doesn't rush, but remains. As we close this first part of the book, look at your life like a bonsai. Notice where your roots are. Observe the structure of your trunk. Acknowledge the branches that point to where you long to go. And above all, trust the gardener, because he never abandons his work. He stays. He knows every stage, and he is leading everything with patience, purpose, and perfection. This is the spirituality of the bonsai, and perhaps it's exactly what your soul is needing right now. Take a moment to reflect. What did these words awaken within you? If this message touched your heart, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey. And remember, what receives care grows. See you in the next chapter.